My name is Rebecca Medina. I'm a board member of the YWCA Pasadena chapter, and I'm also the chairwoman for this year's Women for Racial Justice Breakfast. Our committee, our board, we're all so happy to see you here this morning to celebrate the important work in the area of racial justice being done every day by our honorees, our emerging leaders. Jasmine Richards, the founder of Black Lives Matter Pasadena. And Alokolalo. And our keynote speaker, Emiliana Guerra. On behalf of the 2018 Women for Racial Justice Committee and the YWCA Board of Directors, we welcome you to the 16th Annual Women for Racial Justice Breakfast. Since 2002, the YWCA Pasadena has celebrated those at the forefront of the fight for racial justice, bringing the community together to honor their accomplishments and reflecting upon the work yet to be finished. We hope to continue to build on that momentum today and help build the community learn effective and sustainable strategies. Through the stories and experiences of our Racial Justice Award honorees and keynote speaker, we continue to work towards real and effective racial justice and advocate for race, class, and gender equality. It is with great pleasure that I welcome the YWCA Board President, Angeline Chen, to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you tell we made it later? It's 8 a.m. this time, not 7 a.m. Thank you for being here. What an incredible honor it is to welcome you all to my favorite event of the year. We are pleased to return to the Pasadena Hilton Hotel and are grateful to the staff. We also want to thank the talented musicians from the Marshall Chamber Orchestra for the lovely music they did. As you all know, we now live in a world of social media. We would love it for you to follow us and like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also invite your friends to like us. If each of you can invite another 10 friends to like us on our Facebook page, we can get 3,000 more followers just from today. That would be amazing. And please share. We're doing Facebook live stream and Instagram. And we have a giving tree where you can find your lead and how much you would like to donate and give to our program. Let us continue this morning by personally adopting the YWCA's Racial Justice Pledge as our own personal pledge, guiding our actions at work, at home, and in our community. To help me lead us all in this pledge today is Executive Director, YWCA Pasadena, Jessica Kubel.
I believe that every person has worth as an individual.
I believe that every person is entitled to dignity and respect.
I believe that every thought and every act of prejudice of all kinds is harmful. If it is my thought or act, then it is harmful to me as well as to others.
Therefore, from this day forward, I will strive daily to eliminate prejudice from my thoughts and actions.
I will discourage prejudice by others at every opportunity.
I will treat all people with dignity and respect, and I will strive daily to honor this pledge, knowing that the world will be a better place because of my effort. Thank you. This morning, we are grateful to our sponsors who make this event possible and support the mission of the YWCA. Please help me thank our sponsors, but applaud at the very end. Gold sponsors Dignity Health, Kaiser Permanente, Wells Fargo, Onyx Healthcare. Silver sponsors California Endowment, Caltech, Thrivent Financial. Media sponsors Miss Magazine, Pasadena Now, The Conversation Live, Pasadena Black Pages. You know you want to be one of these sponsors next year, so you can always let us know. We'd also like to thank our in-kind sponsor, Ellen Silk Screening, who made the lovely gift bags here today, as well as the whistle keychains. They also made the wonderful t-shirts in the back, and for a $40 donation at that table, you can get one and wear it in support of the YWCA's racial justice efforts and the emerging leaders we are honoring here today. And you can go in from the step and repeat, take a photo, and share on your social media page. And now, as you continue to enjoy your breakfast, we would like to introduce our returning Mistress of Ceremonies, Sharon Calvin. Sharon Calvin anchors KTLA's award-winning nightly newscast. She has won 6 Emmy Awards for news journalism, winning 5 consecutive years from 2012 to 2017, and has received 4 Golden Mike Awards, all while reporting for KTLA. Cher is also a spokesperson for the charity Asians for Miracle Marrow Matches, and has also worked with the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking. We are honored to have her join us again, her 6th year as our event MC. Please help me welcome Cher Calvin.
Thank you, Angeline. Good morning. Good morning. I'm used to saying good evening. How's everybody doing this morning? Got here okay? Everybody awake? You had your coffee, your tea, breakfast is coming. I mean, it's nice that it was at 8 o'clock. It's at 8 o'clock this year. But it's not nice that my executive producer still had me picked up a little too early. I could have had another 30 minutes of sleep, and I'll tell you that those 30 minutes is everything, right? And that's why we are a little bit brighter this morning, coming here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, thank you guys so much for making the effort every year to be here. Being here 6 years in a row has been such a pleasure, and it really does feel quite like family. And at KTLA, that's what we always hashtag is KTLA family, and this YWCA Pasadena chapter has really, Pasadena-Foothill chapter has really become part of my family as well. So thank you, ladies, for all of the work that you do for the community and for this breakfast, because once a year it's such a joy really to wake up in the morning and come here on a Monday and have breakfast with all of you. So if you could give them a big round of applause to bring this together. Okay. So there's some list, and we do want to say that they have continued in this great history as we start the program in the community, thanks in part to a lot of the volunteer work that we just mentioned here and gave a round of applause to, but we're going to do that as well as we mention and recognize some of the people that really do make this breakfast possible. And so you may recognize them better as they're proudly wearing the YWCA orange scarves. You see them? Yes, everybody around, right? Board President, who just introduced me, Angeline Chen, Vice President Amy Flynn, Treasurer Grace Yuen, and Secretary Judy Morales, of course. Board members also include Ana Acevedo, Monica Benitez Andrade, Claire Bravo, Peggy Gala, Donna Lombardo Johnson, Deborah Kinley, Lourdes Medina, Rebecca Medina, Ashley Moran, Berta Montoya, Sonia Solian, and Carmen Vargas. It's really nice to be around such powerful women, honestly. And if you go to the back there, there's one of these pouches that has a saying that says the future is our women, right? And so that's, I think that's thank you to the guy that's the one guy. Thank you, sir, from Dignity Health. Okay. We also want to acknowledge our past board members who still offer advice, mentorship. Morning, it's working. Time and support. If all past YWCA Pasadena board members could please stand. Let's give all of these women a round of applause and thanks for their dedication in continuing to lead us through the changing times with the goal of eliminating racism and empowering women as we embrace our diversity. So we also have YWCA San Gabriel Valley, and Glendale here as well. Can everybody stand up and be mentioned so that those who are attending, all of the board members, board president, past board members, YWCA, Glendale, and San Gabriel Valley. If you can please stand us to acknowledge them. It is so important to be acknowledged and to be given this happening this morning. The talented and hardworking Women for Racial Justice Committee is thrilled, of course, that you are here on this beautiful Pasadena morning. Let us thank them today for their commitment to this beautiful event and for the 16 years of celebrating women working for racial justice, both locally and globally. Many thanks again to Rebecca Medina, Norma Bentoncourt, Angeline Chen, Ashley Moran, Evelyn Massey, Peggy Gala, Rima Karasarkeesian, got it right, Deborah Kinley, Amy Flynn, Faith Lee, and Cynthia Martinez. Through the generosity of Roman's Bookstore, we each have a bookmark, as we do every year, and of course this is a sampling of racial justice reading to take away with you today. Throughout the month of October, both Romans and the main branch of the Pasadena Public Library will have special displays of racial justice related titles. So please make a commitment to nourish your perceptions and relationships by picking up, reading, and discussing some of these titles. You may want to encourage others as well to do the same. And you can also sign up for the Romans Gives Back program. And by signing up, Romans will contribute a portion of your purchases to the YWCA Pasadena. 10,000 Villages, we all know them, has provided the unique centerpieces at your tables. Do you see what I'm talking about? I have champagne glasses this morning on my table. And I think I might take them home because I just moved and I need some glassware that broke on the move. Now one of the largest fair trade organizations, 10,000 Villages, supports the work of thousands of artisans in over 30 countries. And if you wish to purchase the centerpiece at your table, simply take it with you and then pay at the tables at the north wall over there in the back, where we also have a table of really beautiful art goods and even chocolates and stuff. And you can do that as you exit this morning. There are also many other items at the table, like I just mentioned, that are available for purchase. Will support the YWCA Pasadena. So we appreciate their partnership with the Women for Racial Justice Breakfast each year. A big round of applause, please, to 10,000 Villages and all of their support. Okay, well, it's now time to pay tribute to the winners of the YWCA Pasadena-Foothill Valley's Racial Justice Award. Please welcome back Executive Director Jessica Grubel.
Thank you so much, Cher. Jasmine Richards. Man, what can I say? Jasmine Richards is a community organizer, freedom fighter, and founder of Black Lives Matter Pasadena, otherwise known as BLMD. She has been a champion for the underserved and underrepresented Black Pasadena youth. She initiated Black Lives Matter Pasadena after attending the protests in Ferguson, Missouri, following the death of Mike Brown by law enforcement in 2014. Subsequently organizing in Pasadena and Los Angeles and nationwide. A Pasadena native who was raised amongst gang violence, Jasmine's life was transformed by seeing resistance and resilience in Ferguson. She quickly rose to be a powerful organizer who resonates heavily with young people, locally, nationally, and worldwide. As her profile rose, so did targeting by law enforcement. Jasmine Richards is the first Black woman to have been charged with felony lynching. Through the adversity, Jasmine continues to be an outspoken voice and fights relentlessly for justice in her community. Jasmine also created and runs Freedom School, a grassroots summer program that provides educational activities for Black youth in Northwest Pasadena in a safe and supportive setting. During holidays and at the start of the school year, she also organizes school supply donation drives, food, clothing, and gift drives, and distributes items collected to the families in her local community. Please welcome Racial Justice Breakfast Award recipient, Jasmine Richards. On behalf of the YWCA Pasadena-Foothill Valley, we present you with the 2018 Racial Justice Award. Please accept this very special crystal engraved award representing the dedication, passion, and determination that you have shown in your work and throughout the community. We are also pleased to present you a certificate of recognition from U.S. Congressman Judy Chu, California Senator Anthony Portantino, California Senator Chris Holden, and LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger. Congratulations, Jasmine. Thank you. Your turn.
Well, first of all, I just want to say good morning. I'm real nervous, so I want to see if we can all take like 3 collective breaths together. Like to ground ourselves, I'm nervous and shit, stuff. Alright. So we're going to count to 3, alright? First breath, and out. Breathe out. Deep breath in. Hold it. Deep breath out. Last one. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right. Damn, I was all nervous. At first when I heard I was getting this award, I'm like, why me? You know what I mean? Like, why are we awarding and rewarding each other for things that we're supposed to do, right? So right now I'm going to bring into the room, children. I'm going to bring into the room the reason why I'm in this room is because of Kendrick McDade. It's because of Leroy Barnes, J.R. Thomas, who was killed by the Pasadena Police Department. Okay, there's systematic oppression that's happening in my city, so I'm forced and I have to bring everybody to sit here and eat and be comfortable, while up the street, folks are dying and people are scared, and they don't know how they're going to make their next meal. All my family couldn't even come today because they had to go to work. So let's be present and know where we're at right now and our privilege, right? That black lives don't matter everywhere. So we need to bring those black lives into this room right now, because that's the reason why I fight. So I'm looking at every black person. I'm trying to look at y'all. I'm trying to say, every black person in this room, I see you, black. I see you, black. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you in the back, man. Every black person, I see you. Because we are never seen. So I'm going to bring us into this space. I don't know really why I'm being awarded, you know, because it's just on my heart. I'm doing what God is telling me to do. And He's telling everybody to do it, but everybody's not adhering to that call. So I'm asking folks, right? I like to do call to actions because I'm not an organizer, not an activist. I'm a sister that's tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of burying my friends. I'm tired of saying goodbye. Most of the children that are part of my program are my friends' children. You know, so this is really close to me. This is not a game. I'm not out here fighting because I'm an activist. I'm out here because my life depends on it. The lives of these children depends on it. So, however I can mess up the current status quo and make people like uncomfortable, like no more normal business as usual, that's what I will do. Until you guys see black lives and black babies as I see them, I'm going to mess up your day. Right? Because folks need to see our children, and that's why I fight, right? So, I don't even really know what I was going to talk about. I just want to leave you guys with a call to action. Like, the call to action is stop being complacent and stop being comfortable. Everyone here is comfortable. You need to shake shit up. You need to go in your families. White people, you know you got racist folks in your family. You need to have those conversations at the dinner table.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We need to have those sticky conversations. It's time. I don't know what y'all about, but I'm about killing white supremacy, colonialism, and things like that. Okay? So Black Lives that do matter here. And as soon as we start talking about these things and putting them up to the table, then all this is for show. And I'm not about for show. I'm about doing the work. So I'm asking everybody here, do it. There's no one way to win this movement, right? I got a big ass mouth, so that's why I'm out there, right? But everybody knows how to do something. Contribute. Stop remaining idle, because these children's lives depend on it, right? And in my community, we don't live past 25 years old. So let's think about that. That systemic oppression is really happening right now, okay? And what systemic violence looks like to the Black community. And I just want to ask folks to reimagine what does community policing really look like, right? Like, can we imagine our community without the police? Like, what happens with that? So, I'm gonna bring that to the space. And I just want everybody to keep on saying their names, because Kendrick McDade matters, J.R. Thomas matters, I matter, we matter, right? So thank you for this racial justice award.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I was gonna say, only a racial justice breakfast would have me a napkin in one hand for this, and my script in the other. Okay, I can do this.
Girl, are
I'm s- Relief, Services, and Justice. I've had the privilege to volunteer for Allo Lalo Border Rights Project, where I brought together a group of mostly immigration attorney mothers through a volunteer group we created called Rights to Reunite. To assist Allo Lalo's attorneys Nicole Ramos and Erica Pinheiro to help refugees cross the port of entry to the United States seeking asylum. Anna Maria Quintana's here as well. She was with me at the border. That experience opened my eyes and it broke my heart. I'm so humbled to be introducing Nora Phillips, the legal director and co-founder of Allo Lalo. She manages the LA office and runs the deportee program, deportation and detention department. I have known Nora for about 8 years. She is made of pure love. She is unstoppable. She is fierce and has a way to make you laugh even when you're talking about the most serious issues. In all honesty, I have never met a group of such strong and amazing lawyers who are so caring and dedicated to help immigrants and people. Please help me welcome Nora Phillips to the stage to accept the Racial Justice Award. On behalf of the YWCA Pasadena-Foothill Valley, we present to you and Allo Lalo with the 2018 Racial Justice Award. Please accept the Special Crystal Engraved Racial Justice Award, representing the compassion, encouragement, and tireless dedication to immigrant rights and racial justice. Sorry, I didn't get instructions for this part. I just figured I can take it out, use my common sense. And then also, we are pleased to present certificates of recognition from U.S. Congresswoman Judy True, California Senator Anthony Portantino, California Assemblyman Chris Holden, and LA County Supervisor Catherine Barker. Congratulations to LOL.
Hi everybody. I'm really nervous right now. I can't believe I'm going to after Jasmine. Jasmine, you're a hero. You're incredible. You're like, I can't even believe that I'm getting an award like in the same event as you. I chose this career. This is Jasmine's life. I'm a white girl from Wisconsin, and really, and I kind of just drifted from place to place until I moved to Happy Valley, Los Angeles, and I'm never leaving. So I felt more welcome, more accepted, and more able to do the kind of work that I want, the way that I want to do it. I'll give you a little bit of a back history of our organization. So in 2011, we started in my basement. I had recently moved to Los Angeles and was working as a staff attorney at the Central American Resource Center at Edison, and just thought, I'm from Wisconsin. The closest border is Canada, which is like 20 hours north. I was like, Mexico is right there. Why isn't everyone going? It's like the most geopolitically important place in, like, you know, from a refugee perspective and everything. And I've been in immigration attorney for about 11 years. So when I first got to Tijuana, I started seeing we would do legal clinics at the deportee shelter, Pasadena-Foothill. And we would see over and over again in increasing numbers that. So me and a couple of friends were sort of just standing on the border, screaming into a litigation void. Nobody wanted to take the case, but they did finally. We're really stubborn. So in 2017, we sued Customs and Border Protection for failure to allow refugees in at the southern border. That case was done with Latham Watkins, the Center for Constitutional Rights, Southern Poverty Law Center, and American Immigration Council. So I was really with idols on that. And it's still going. We got a really good decision, filed an amended complaint, and as long as Trump keeps tweeting, we're not letting these refugees in. We just keep printing the tweets out and adding these exhibits. So, So we have 2 other lawsuits going on. I'll get into like a little bit of the program in a second, but I wanted to focus on the litigation. So we sued Border Patrol, and we've also sued Core Civic, a private prison company, for violations of slave wages, or slave labor and indentured servitude. So you can't force somebody to work for $1 an hour. And so we sued them. Those suits are going forward as well. But for me, the biggest part, I love litigation. I love suing the bastards. That's why I went to law school. And there are so many bastards to sue. So, but my heart is really with the program. And so we, I'll just tell you a little bit about where we are, because nobody's heard of us that much. We're small, but we're really mighty. So in 2014, we became incorporated, and now in 2018, we have 9 full-time staff, programs in 5 countries. We're so tired. So in the LA, and every single program that we have is through the lens of racism. Every single program. Our U.S. programs are for deportee prevention, so working in the prisons, trying to find people who are not deportable, but without legal counsel probably would be, including U.S. citizens. I run the Deportee Reentry Project in Tijuana, which is for people who are being deported right out of prison, which is more than legal stuff. It's like aggressive case management to prevent things that have been happening, like suicide clusters among people who've been deported. So we want to try to prevent that. We actually have we work with United Deportees in Mexico. So when somebody is deported, if you know anybody who's going to be, they get deported to Tijuana, they go through the turnstile, they walk 100 meters, and that's where our office is to catch them. So I view it as sort of like legal midwifery, because it's just such a horrible thing. Like, I can't even imagine. It's like close with white privilege. Like, there's so many things that I can't really, I'll never, ever, ever know. So I can't even believe I'm getting this award. Thank you. I'm crying and probably over time. I should have just brought him out. We also have obviously our Mexico project, which is the Wrjb Rights Project, where Rise to Unite came and was really motivated and horrified by what they saw. We basically set up a refugee camp, like a pop-up refugee camp at the border out of cardboard. When the caravan had come up, now we have another caravan coming up. We're working with the majority of the separated families we're representing. So we have colleagues in Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala going and finding the parents whose kids are still locked up here. We work with a really multidisciplinary group. We think that's the best way to provide services. So we have 800 volunteers, and they're everything from mental health professionals to teachers to social workers to, I mean, if you're nice and you can go to Tijuana, we want you as a volunteer. Just be nice and fill out our volunteer application. We're a women-led organization, and all of our policy decisions are made by impacted community members. We are not Columbus.org, and we're very, very proud of that. So we plug into existing infrastructures that want us there, and then I want to be Becky with a good share. Just get the fuck down. Well, thank you so much. This is just like an unbelievable honor, and that's it.
After 6 years, I go to bring a coat with me, so sorry, I just had to take that off because it gets a little cold in here. Guys, can we please give a big round of applause to Nora and also to Jasmine and congratulate them. We also, thank you so much. You ladies are an inspiration. It really is. It's an honor to sit at your table. And also sitting at our table is Congresswoman Judy Chu. If we can give her a round of applause for being here as well. Here, California Assemblyman Chris Holden and LA County Supervisor Catherine Barber and her office. Congratulations again to our ladies and also to our supporters. Thank you so much. Oh, what a wonderful morning. It was so inspirational, and it just gets better every single year. What they do here at the YWCA Pasadena-Foothill, the people that support us. I really feel like I'm part of this because I've been here for 6 years. But it's so nice to see and hear the stories of inspiration and what these women are doing for other women and also for girls, which is so important. Again, congratulations, Jasmine Richards, Otto Ablado, and Nora, and thank you again for your commitment to racial justice and for being an inspiration to us all. This year's keynote speaker, Emiliana Wrjb, is the founder of Women's March Los Angeles Foundation. Emiliana is an award-winning event producer who devotes much of her time to advocacy programs for women's rights, Latinx education, and gender equality. Emiliana brings her 10+ years of event experience and community organizing to Women's March LA. In 2016, Emiliana founded the Women's March LA Foundation and is the driving force behind the official Women's March in Los Angeles. She has been extremely involved in activism both on a local and national level and has served as the bridge between many organizations to combine forces in the summer of resistance. She has also been a guest speaker for numerous groups and educational institutions, including League of Women Voters, USC, UCLA, and was a panelist in 2017 at Politicon, the Hope Conference, Hispanos Organized for Equality, and the 2018 United States of Women Summit. Please welcome Emiliana.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. I am sort of a walker. This drives me nuts. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I organized, who I am as a person, and why I'm in this fight. So, my name is Emiliana Wrjb. I was originally supposed to be a boy named after Emiliano Zapata. They were shocked. I grew up in Chicago. I am one of those immigrants that you have walked around to save. I am one of 13 kids. I am the seventh, so I'm the problem child. I grew up in Chicago and I grew up in segregation. I just didn't know it. I didn't even know white people existed because I lived in Pretty Green. And what people called the ghetto, and I called my community. I grew up not speaking English because I did not come to the United States till I was 10 years old. And I met my parents at 10. But I always grew up with a sense of community, and a sense of hard work, and a sense of racial justice. I just didn't know it. But it was important for my mom to tell the community that she needed to be counted, that although she did not speak English, her kids were her future. And she knew that. And so did my dad. And we had, when I tell you we had zero, we had less than zero. But every weekend we went out to feed homeless people. And I was like, why are we doing that? We need the food ourselves. And my mom said, because there will always be someone that needs more than you do. And it is your responsibility, it is my responsibility to do more, to always stand up and do more. Why did I decide to step up and organize Women's March LA? Because I thought that I would be missed. I thought that I, as a Latina, would not have a place in Women's March if I did not step up to organize this.
That's right.
I didn't want to be the afterthought of a politician. I didn't want to be the afterthought. I'm done with that. My kids are done with that. I'm with her. Let's fuck some shit up. Voting. Today is October 22nd. It's the last day to vote. We all know someone, the last day to register to vote. We all know someone in our family or around us that says, I don't vote. I don't show up. Remember, I'm one of 13? 3 people in my entire family showed up to vote, and 2 were Republican. So that means the rest did not vote, right? And the 2 that did vote superseded my vote. So we have to continue stepping up. We have to ask everyone around us to vote for your community, to start locally. Because when we talk about it's DC, that person got voted in your community. Someone in your community approved of their policies for them to get to state, for them to get to national. Don't let that happen. So part of, yes, we've marched. We've marched 2 years now. We're going on 3 years. But part of what Women's March LA has done besides march is we made some noise for that Kavanaugh nomination. We're not done. We're not done. Someone said it's a woman's wave. I said, you cannot talk about equality and equity without talking about racial justice. Because when we have racial justice, we will talk about equality. So when we talk about voting, we need to talk about when you do not vote, you're voting. It just doesn't count. So we need to continue to step up for our brothers and sisters. And if I didn't want to add more stuff into my background, I married a half-black, half-Jewish man. So my kids are in for it. I have 2 boys, and one of my sons said, Mom, do you think we will ever be president because I'm black, because I'm Jewish? I said, well, we've had a black president. I said, what if you marry a female president? He said, oh. Oh, right? So for me, I'm doing it for my kids. I'm volunteering my time at Women's March to fix the shit that white cavemen have. What we have done at Women's March, we have organized truckloads and truckloads of toys to take to these separated families. When we talk about separated families, my parents have been deported. I grew up illegal. This is not a conversation you have at the dinner table like, oh, we're illegal. Right? No, we're getting on with our day. We're working towards having an education. We're working towards being equal. So when we talk about, the families belong together, people march, and in 5 seconds we forgot about that and we're moving on to the next drama. Let's stick to something, and something that is not going away is racial justice. Because the color of my skin will not change. And the color of my kids' skin will not change. And guess what? If we are not treating minorities like second-class citizens, then why are white people afraid of being a minority? Why? So I'm going to leave you with everyone that marched, who has marched, who has come out to march. What always impresses me are the people that say, I just know how to do this. Like you don't have a superpower. You have a superpower. From Guadalupe, who said, I only make tacos. She ended up making tacos for the whole VIP area. I mean, she had a line out the door. From Lida Ramos, who is a professor at Cal State. Well, I'm a professor. Well, that is commendable. You are a teacher, right? So think about what it is that is your superpower. What is it that you are doing? For me, it was organizing. I've organized since I was a kid. Remember that when I'm 13? I was tasked with making sure their hair was braided and making sure everybody ate breakfast and walk them all out the door. That was my job. And I brought that skill set to the march. I made sure that everyone was included. I made sure that I continued to work with these organizations that supported me. Who was I knocking on somebody's door? Who was I calling Melina Abdullah and asking her if she would join me? And she was like, who are you? I am someone that wants to organize a march. I am someone that believes in racial justice. I am someone that grew up segregated, and I know what that is like. And so I ask everyone to continue the work, to volunteer in your organization, because all of these nonprofits rely on the power of volunteers, right? And I'm not asking you to volunteer your entire life like I am, because I will continue to volunteer my time for this. But I want to leave you with the thought that you have the power to fix shit. You have the power to stand up for someone that does not feel like they can stand up. How many of you marched? Thank you for continuing to show up, because just being here today is showing up. And the rest of you that did that march, my third march is January 19th. I hope to see you there.
The one word that I'm going to take away from Emiliana's speech, keynote speech, is this: what is your superpower, right? I think that's really important as we walk out of this room today, is to think about what your superpower is and how you can further this cause and further, and go out and vote, for real. I'm not allowed to be political, but go out and vote. So another big round of applause again. Now I would like to welcome back Jessica Nubel, Executive Director of the YWCA Pasadena, to the stage.
It'll probably be better.
All right, we'll do this. I can invite her up for a chance. We'll do that in just a moment. I want to thank you all again for joining us this morning. As Emiliana said, basically being here is an act of support for our racial justice efforts. I am honored to be a part of the YWCA family, and I'm immensely proud to stand up and uphold our mission statement, eliminating racism and empowering women. I'm humbled to stand upon this stage as we honor these women who have gone above and beyond in the field of racial justice. This year, we have chosen to highlight the next generation of leaders in racial and social justice issues, these emerging leaders, and have their unique perspective and contributions that they bring to the conversation. In the past few years, our political climate has become much more contentious. And I've heard people remark to me, I didn't realize that the YWCA was starting to become so political. But here's the thing. We've always been involved in these issues. Since our start in 1905, the YWCA Pasadena has been a pioneering voice in the fight for racial, economic, and gender equity. Historically, we've been a voice and a force to be reckoned with for such causes. So just a brief history lesson. We rallied and marched for women's right to vote, spoke out about the appalling housing and working conditions for migrant workers, supported child labor laws, developed a pre-1920 racial integration plan for our facilities. We supported birth control efforts as early as 1938. Woo! And in 1942, we had our first African-American board member. And post-World War II, we welcomed back Japanese Americans as members of the YWCA, helping them to return to our community post-internment. We offered classes and prenatal care to pregnant teens in the 1950s. We also helped set up the Pasadena Free Clinic in the 60s, where young women could be seen and advised without parental consent. In the 70s, we started the area's first Big Sister program and helped to create the first rape crisis hotline in the county. Now today, our efforts focus on our empowerment program for girls, ages 10 to 14, with our Tech Girls program, Express Yourself, and our Girls Rise Leadership Camp. For those who are unaware, 90% of the girls in our programs are girls of color, African American, Latina, Asian. We're serving most of the Northwest Pasadena area. The majority of the girls in our program come from the areas of Pasadena and Altadena that face the most disparity in regards to income, fair wages, housing, transportation, health equity, and access to quality educational opportunities. With recent news of local schools facing closure and impending cuts to arts, science, and other extracurricular activities, We continue to serve the girls in our area, and we offer our STEAM-focused programs free to those girls, while simultaneously instilling leadership skills to our participants. The YWCA Pasadena will continue to stand by our mission and offer innovative, skill-based programs centered on the needs required for confidence building within girls and young women, and to empower them to achieve those goals. With support, compassion, and radical empathy, we not only explore new methods of learning with the girls in our programs, but we learn from them as well. In order to create a just and equitable future for these girls and for the generations that will follow, we must also listen to what they have to say and incorporate those lessons into the solutions that we seek for the many issues that are facing our communities. So at the YWCA Pasadena, we are mentoring and fostering the next generation of innovators, of teachers, of activists, and change makers. We are developing emerging leaders. And that being said, I would now like to have Cynthia help me to present a short video about the YWCA and allow you to hear from some of the girls and women participants themselves. Thank you.
Founded in 1905 as a refuge for women seeking to enter the workforce, the YWCA continued our mission throughout the decades, advocating for racial equality, social justice, and the rights of women and girls. Today, through our projects, events, and programs, we continue to champion the causes of eliminating racism and empowering women.
The YWCA, I feel, has given a place for the girls to come after school and not just be sitting around waiting for their parents to pick them up.
Tamara has learned that there is a 3D printer. She's flourished with her computer aptitudes. There's been science projects. There's been NASA lectures of women in that program to show these girls that, yes, truly, they can do anything.
I think it's inspiring for her to see. She's come home and told me stories about things that she's learned, and she loves the art. She loves making things. She creates things, and I think it's definitely given her a place to come do that.
And they were just so helpful with everything. If you had something going on, they were somebody you could talk to. If you just needed to express yourself, or if you needed to say something, they were the people to go to.
I mean, they do things like birthday parties for them. There are after-school snacks. There's breakfast. Some of these kids may not get breakfast.
They had a Christmas party last year in where they donated gifts to families, and the gifts that they bestowed on Grace and I were unfathomable. I couldn't even believe it.
No matter where I'd go or what I'd do, I would always have a family to come back to, and I have friends here who care about me just as much as I care about them.
These girls have become family to her, to the point where now she comes in and she helps out with the new kids. She makes the little ones feel comfortable, and she wants to become a counselor.
I've heard over and over again that by creating a strong woman, you actually help the whole community. And this is what the Y is doing.
It made me feel more open with everybody and expressing myself to others and making me feel more confident, like a lot more confident about myself.
I actually do feel more like a leader now that I've gone here. I could do something in the community, be a part of it.
I honestly believe that YWCA has brought more compassion into Tamara's life because of the field trips to senior citizens.
And her being able to go there over the holidays and help to decorate and get to know and forge connections with the elderly was extremely beneficial for her. She came home with a lit up face and a smile, looking forward to going back again.
But overall, the biggest connection came when they were able to share their stories from one side to the other side and getting to know their residents in a deeper sense.
She would come back and tell me stories about the interviews that the kids were asked to do with the seniors, and some of the questions they would ask about their lives and how they had lived.
They've realized that as young as they are, we all get old. And We all will need help at some point. So for them to become aware of that at this stage in their life will impact how they treat others throughout the rest of their life. So it's a domino effect. But if there was no YWCA, they would not get the direction or the experiences or the joy of knowing that they can do anything they want to do.
One of the projects that YWCA Pasadena has been involved in is the collaboration and creation of a volunteer group called Rise to Reunite. It began as an idea from my friend Marina Gonzalez, who had contacted me and really wanted to stand up and do something about the children who are being separated at the border. So I decided to bring in our mission committee at the YWCA to help with Marina and her contacts to plan an event. We had over 240 people in attendance. We had a panelist of experts talking about the issue, and we split out into breakout groups to organize and decide on what different actions we could take. A few weeks later, I, along with other immigration attorney mothers and paralegals, went to the border to volunteer for a nonprofit organization called El Otro Lado. We are also collaborating with a Buddhist humanitarian aid organization called 2G Foundation. We have been going to the border with them, and they've been providing humanitarian aid to the refugees in shelters in Tijuana. Being a part of Rise to Reunite has been amazing in so many ways. I am so impressed by the volunteers who have stepped up and are committed to our cause and the different skill sets that they provide. I am so grateful for the volunteers in this group.
I feel a good leader walks like they talk.
They don't need to go and make a big fuss about it. They just see the need and give themselves into it.
If you want to be a leader, you can.
Donate to the YWCA Girls After School Empowerment Camp.
These girls get snacks. They need a building, a place where they can meet.
So if you could reach deep down and give as much as possible to help this program to continue to do amazing things.
I have a few more words after this, but I wanted to invite Jasmine back up because we'd like to lead a quick Asada chant.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to wait for the mood to be right, but I'm just going to throw it in there. So I'm just going to ask everybody if we could stand up together. Yes. It's kind of like, I don't know if everybody knows who Asada Shakur is, but Asada Shakur, she's a Black Panther. She is on the FBI's most wanted list. She escaped from jail, and now she's in Cuba. And she is my idol. She is who I live by, and I love her, okay? That's my hero. And so this chant, we say it 3 times because we know whatever you say 3 times, it resonates in your spirit. So we're going to whisper it the first time, say it really low. Second time, we're going to say it at a regular tone. Third time, we're going to grab hands and scream it at the top of our lungs. Y'all ready? All right, if everybody can hold hands, ask your neighbor, are they comfortable with you holding their hands? Oh, some people are like, don't touch me, don't touch me. If everybody, I'm doing one more thing. How about this? How about everybody connect? Not just separate tables. Everybody connect because there's individual circles, and that's not good. Let's all make a circle and look at each other. Come on, guys, we can do this. Everybody.
Well, I gotta connect. You can watch here.
You guys, we're gonna be like church, like black church. Everybody
This way.
I want everybody to be connected. It's very important that we be connected. Okay? So, we're going to bring the spirit here. It is our duty to fight for freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
With those words, I'm going to tell you about YWCA real quick. I know you guys heard a lot about it from me already, but we are developing young girls into leaders. We're celebrating women's strengths and accomplishments, and we're advocating for a community free from racial prejudice and violence. We are working to eliminate racism and empower women. And as Emiliana said, we can't do one without the other. The two go hand in hand. But we are a nonprofit organization, and we do rely on the support and the generosity of people such as you. So you know I gotta do my spiel, right? We cannot do this alone. And so we're going to ask you today to stand with us and to help support our efforts by making a contribution to the YWCA Pasadena, and to help support our empowerment programs such as Tech Girls, Express Yourself, and our Girls Rise Leadership Camp. These are available for free for girls in the community. You can help us continue our racial justice efforts through our educational workshops, our Talking the Talk community forums, our immigration clinics, and from Angeline. Your donation helps us create a more inclusive and equitable community for all of us. There are donation envelopes on each table within your programs. If you're so kind to donate, please make sure that the info is filled out completely so we can send you a thank you letter and recognize that you have supported the YWCA. Once you've completed filling out the forms, please raise your hand, and our board members wearing the YWCA persimmon orange will come by and help you collect them. Also, if you've selected an item from the giving tree, that beautiful giving tree in the back, you can make your donation this way as well. I understand there's some fantastic ways to help support the programs, such as sponsoring a Girl for Summer Camp, or helping to cover supplies for the 3D program, and so forth. Oh, excuse me, our 3D printer. All of the items on the giving tree help to support the programs. Additionally, we've got these amazing t-shirts in the back that Ellen's has helped to print. They're a limited run of shirts. There's only 50 available if you're interested in purchasing one. By doing so, it also helps to support the YWCA and emerging leaders. On behalf of all of us at the YWCA, we sincerely thank you for joining us and for your support. Together, we really can make a difference. Thank you.
Yes, please donate. They have such great programs, especially for the girls, which is really wonderful. Okay. Born in La Paz, Mexico, to a Mexican father and a Turkish mother, Maya grew up in Sydney, Australia. It was in Sydney's western suburbs where she first fell in love with hip-hop. Maya's love for writing rhymes helped her express her fear, her pain, her joy, and hope as a teenager. And later on, she realized the power music held in using it as a tool to make a positive difference in her community. It is with this ideal that she co-founded Wrjb Entertainment, an entertainment company committed to creating and supporting art and music that inspires positive social change, alongside Quetzal Flores, Veronica Gonzalez, Alberto Lopez, and Alu Black. Maya Jupiter is a true artist and is the host of the Global Village every Monday from 11 a.m. on KPFK 90.7 FM Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Maya Jupiter.
Thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure and really an honor to be here today amongst you all and amongst our honorees. This song is called Madre Tierra, which means Mother Earth. It's really about the divine feminine power that women have. And it's also a tribute, it's in honor of all women who have lost their lives to domestic violence, police brutality, or any type of violence. In the song, I'd love for you to sing along if you can, the chorus. You know that saying, they tried to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds? Well, I built on that and I said, so we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. So, if you want to, you can turn it up a little bit more. I'll pull away from it if it gets too blown out, because otherwise I can't hear myself. Thanks. All right, so, here it is, Madre Tierra. I'm the healer, protector, the teacher of time, the nurturer, the fighter, the enemy of life, staying quiet until I'm absorbing all stress, until I explode and I am civil unrest. I'm the hope that was born in my mother's heart, the dream of Sandra, looking for a fresh start. I'm the will of Rayhan to keep islands safe, the fire born in any arm to survive and break. I'm a mother, a daughter, a grand and a great responsibility to support and create. I'm the fight against a corrupt prison system, standing on the front line to rustly resistant. I'm the key that unlocks every fist, ferocious and furiously strong. I am Mother Earth, and this is my song. Mother Tierra, they tried to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. Mother Tierra, so what we gonna do? So we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. Mother Tierra, they tried to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. Mother Tierra, so we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. I'm relieved, gazing in my newborn's eyes. Her cackles, her laughter, and all of her cries. I'm a guardian, a keeper of tradition and faith, a memory of truth and tomorrow that awaits. I'm an aspect connected to 1,000 trees, roots and leaves, fruits and seeds. I am fierce, ferocious, and fiercely strong. I am Mother Earth, and this is my song. Mother Tierra, they try to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. Mother Tierra, so we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. Mother Tierra, they try to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. So we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. Mother Tierra, sing it with me. They try to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. Mother Tierra, so what we gonna do? So we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. Mother Tierra, they try to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. Mother Tierra, so we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. I'm the moment the Cheerio became politicized, like the second that Angela became radicalized. I'm the intention of sending a child across the border. I am Diana's gun, restoring all the order. I'm Jolene, and I'm at the head of the struggle. I am Banana, and I'll settle with the trouble. I am fierce, ferocious, and fearlessly strong. I am Mother Earth, and this is my song. I'm the moment the Cheerio became politicized, like the second that Angela became radicalized. I'm the intention of sending a child across the border. I am Diana's gun, and I'm restoring all the order. I'm Jolene, and I'm at the head of the struggle. I am Banana, and I'll settle with the trouble. I am fierce, ferocious, and fearlessly strong. I am Mother Earth, and this is my song. Say her no! 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 Listen, babe. Song is called I Am. It's a song about actual music. This one is for the kids. This song is all about truth. Truth. I am a magical, mystical manifestation of life. I am a professional, powerful lyricist grabbing a mic. I can't imagine a world where always and girls have a reason to live. I stand for justice, equality, present and past, what wasn't what is. I am guiding the ships to shore in the still of the night. Beams of light reflected on the past and the stories held beneath my borders, more and spell. I am eternally yours, hand in yours. Yearning for freedom just because it brings me closer to thee. I'm living to one. Love is a tunnel, the second to none. I stumble and get right back upon my feet. Screaming the words I've heard. I shall overcome, retreat. Never an option, seven concoctions. Love and honesty, true eruptions. Come on and power that kills corruption. Still never missing a beat. I am a magical, mystical manifestation of life. Professional, powerful lyricist grabbing a mic. I can't imagine the world, but always the those of a reason to live. I stand for justice, equality, present and past, what wasn't what is. I am. A shining star, I hope I press the moon. I'm bright at high noon. Radiance resonating, illuminating through the mist of misjudgment. I endeavor for peace. I sing with the voice of the wind. I dream with the hills and the streams. Release me into a place where truth lies. See me inside the eyes of a child. Many miles deeper within the earth. I smile, patiently waiting, holding my breath. Feeling the beauty of souls and death. Life flows through my body. I know it's something godly. If you want professional, powerful, lyricist, grabbing a mic. Imagine a world where always it goes of a reason to live. Justice, equality, present and past, what wasn't what is. I am the eyes of an eagle, perch on a cactus. For food that nurtures, strengthens up my can I go back. Held by my neck, carried by sight, the work relax, I never grew weak. Fuck was someone forbidden to speak. Hidden identity, now that was meant to be. I am forever who I am, eternally grateful and gracious and patient protect. Future unfolds in a new dialect as I clutch at the words, trying hard to affect. Ink disappears when I cannot connect. New from sadness, darkness, still deep asleep in the all fulfilled. Ready to wake in the spirit of youth. Powerfully present, persistently true. I am. So much to the YWCA and my students for having me. Some of you may remember last year I was a little big. This is the newest YWCA girl. Thank you, Maya. That was just an amazing performance. Thank you so much. And Cher, thank you so much for the amazing job that you've done as an MC for 6th year and hopefully more years to come. We love having you. You are part of our family. We are so grateful to our Racial Justice Award honorees, Jasmine and Alotra Laura. For your hard work, your commitment, and to Miliana for your knowledge, persistence, and inspiration. I'm going to have my husband take the baby right now.
Good job, Dad.
I want to also thank the Marshall Orchestra for beautiful music greeting us today. And I want to thank the Hilton for the lovely accommodations and to those who have provided for our needs. If you have not yet already entered the business card raffle, I'm going to pull some tickets or some cards in just a minute. You can win the Jones Coffee Basket or the overnight stay, 2-night stay at the Hilton. One night stay. Oh, excuse me, sorry, 1 night stay still. Beautiful accommodations. I stayed here overnight as well. So, Anthony, if you would help me. And the winner is Dara Griffin. That is for the stay at the Hilton, Dara. And for the Patricia Breen. All right, Patricia. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. All of this would not have come together today without the work of the dedicated volunteers of the YWCA Women for Racial Justice Breakfast Committee. So please give them a big hand. They put in a lot of work into it. Especially to our event chair, Rebecca Medina. Thank you so much for your leadership and your advice and insight. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I also want to thank the YWCA staff. Ladies, we couldn't do any of this without you. So, Cynthia, Jomi, Amanda, and no Kathy, our bookkeeper's members in there too. Hi, Kathy. Please stand. I want to thank you so much, especially when I'm on the community, you have to take care of all that stuff for me. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank all of the volunteers that have been helping us today. Thank you all for your time. Being here this morning, thank you. I'm also going to thank our electeds that have been here today. We had Congressman Judy Chu, Senator Portantino. I believe we also had a Bell City Council member, Ana Maria Quintana, and Alhambra School Board member, Adele Statler, am I correct? We also had representatives from Supervisor Barger's office, too. While there are city leaders and some other local officials who are notably absent today, we thank those who are here for your continued support, for standing with the YWCA Pasadena as we persist in the fight for racial justice and women's empowerment. And I'd like to make one last little note, and thank you, a note of congratulations. Our board president, Angeline Chen, has been named as an honorable mention by Pacific Oaks College for the Social Justice Hero Award. Congrats to Angeline, and thank you, Pacific Oaks College. Thank you. If you are interested in joining our Racial Justice Committee, please let us know if you want to help us plan next year's event as well. We need a strong team to put this together. And if you're interested in any of our other programs, committees, or board, legacy giving, or want to contribute, please contact us. You know where to find us in the morning. Again, if you'd like to take photos at the backdrop, please be patient. We will be taking pictures with our honorees. And you can also get a chance to take photos with them as well, or ask questions, or get to know them, and find out how you can also help their causes as well. If you have been following this and posting online, we have some hashtags if you'd like to share the event. And it's hashtag YWCA Leaders and hashtag YWCA Pasadena. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the different social media outlets. And with that being said, after getting to meet and speak and talk with all of these amazing women today, I am humbled beyond words. In fact, I was wiping away tears a little earlier for some of the speeches. And again, I want to thank you all for joining us today, and we hope to see you next year at the 17th Annual Women for Racial Justice Conference. Thank you.